I almost forgot. Hi, anyone and everyone. This is Kim, the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. I'm going to do the collective for today. Today is Friday, November 14th, 2025. You may follow me on the attack, the tube, my blog, or not. Totally up to you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. If some of it fits, we love that for you. God's kiss. Whatever doesn't, leave it on the table for someone else because you don't need to take on energy that wasn't meant for you. We're going to use Rare Rebel. RareRebel.com, I think. Hold on. For some reason, it doesn't say on the Oracle card, but it says on the tarot. The Rare Rebel shop. You can find the cards on Etsy. Okay, we got that one last time. We got it last time. What are you doing to me? I'm not crazy. How's everybody doing? I had the best day. Can I just say that? Can I just say, I had the best day. I got stuck in picking for the second day in a row for the third day this week, but that's fine because I was in between two of my favorite men. I love them dearly. They are sweethearts. They're absolutely sweethearts. My buddies. One of them I consider like my brother. And I said something to my friend and she goes, I'm like, he's the brother I never had. And she goes, don't you have a brother? And I said, yeah, let's not talk about him. Actually, I felt bad because I was supposed to buy him a birthday cake last week and I forgot. The friend, not my brother. And I told him, I'll bring you a cake on Sunday. And he's like, well, I don't know if I'll be there. I've been calling off on Sundays. I'm like, you better be there. Otherwise, I have to eat a whole cake by myself. We got 3 on the table. Woo! We got 4 on the table. 5 on the table. We're going to do 2 more shuffles. Okay, that was weird because it was like it didn't want to come out, but then it did want to come out. Six on the table, 2 more shuffles. 7 on the table. Last shuffle, last shuffle, last shuffle. I'm going to set this up here since I have no box for it. It just comes in a cute little bag, which I got to wash because I have never washed this thing. And it's faded. I don't even leave it in the sun, y'all, and it's faded. It's very sad. Maybe I'll put them in like a baggie or something and wash the bag. All right. We got heart chakra. We got shift your mindset. I always feel like talking ghetto when I get that card. I don't know why. And not ghetto. I don't know how to say it. Like punk. Align your chakras. We got watching close. Divine masculine energy. We got green light. Pardon me if I got like teeth or nut stuff stuck in my teeth. I was eating my little dinner earlier. Or snack. I might eat something else later. I don't know why. I feel really hungry today. Happiness. And I'm not starving by any means. Like, I ate all day. Bottom of the deck, third eye chakra. Everybody is always worried about me. Like, oh, you lost 40 pounds? Why aren't you eating? I lost 40 pounds because I don't eat as much as I used to. I still eat. I still kind of have a double chin. All right. Oh, my legs still itch. It's driving me nuts. My tattoo is itching like crazy. Feminine, masculine, take how it resonates. The heart chakra, the shift your mindset, the align your chakras. God is just saying somebody needs to get in alignment because someone's divine masculine is watching and they have the green light to come in for some type of confrontation, communication, whatever the case may be. This is going to bring someone happiness. I'm not going to say that someone doesn't already have their third eye open. I just think that when you come into like a divine connection and you're with your counterpart, the two of you, pardon me, are going to be more in tune with each other and more in tune with spirit, God, right? Universe. Okay. So like to me, this is really nothing but positivity. I like this reading. Divine masculine, you can change that for divine feminine, however that works for you. Divine non-binary, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You could be watching this person and you could be getting the green light to go towards them, or they're watching you and they're getting the green light to come towards you. One or the other. Or I mean technically like you both could be watching each other, right? Like for me, like if I were to say like, oh, this resonates, this doesn't resonate, like I'm not watching anybody. I don't usually watch anybody, period. Friend, family member, lover, like I don't keep track of people's like social media, and I don't stand around and like, hey, like I saw you in the neighborhood but I didn't say anything. Like I don't do that kind of stuff. So like for me, like me personally, like I know like I would not be watching somebody and getting the green light to go towards them. So like for me, if this situation resonated, it would be somebody watching me and coming towards me. Because I'm not watching anybody. And don't get me wrong, like I have Facebook and I see people's stuff on there, but I don't usually go chase stuff. I don't usually go to people's pages to chase their content or anything like that. If it shows up in my feed, it shows up in my feed. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's just and I feel the same way with mine, like I feel like I have the same people liking my content on Facebook, which is fine. I mean, I don't care. It is what it is. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think certain people chase my stuff either. And that's fine. Like, I would expect nothing less. So this watching close, and it's somebody, watching from a garbage can. I always say that this reminds me of the female actress that played the Wicked Witch of the West or whatever in Wizard of Oz at the beginning when she's like on the bicycle or whatever. I always feel like whoever this is kind of looks like that feminine. Anyway, I'm looking at this and I'm actually picturing somebody standing between like two buildings, brick buildings actually, And it kind of reminds me of like when you go into a city and you see like the brownstones, kind of like, you know how like they're kind of like attached, but not, like they're all smacked together, but then like you might have like four or five or six of them together and then a break, and then four or five or six of them together and then a break. Yeah, I'm picturing somebody standing like in the break, the little alley in between the buildings, kind of like it's red brick, by the way, like a red brown brick. And they give off masculine energy, but that and they kind of look like a masculine, but that doesn't mean anything nowadays. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying with the heart. I'm just going to clarify a few things, and then I'm going to let this go because this is pretty easy peasy. The heart chakra, the shift your mindset, the align your chakras. I don't really think it's like, okay, this divine masculine isn't coming in until you align yourself. I just think this is God saying you need to get into some type of alignment, especially where your heart is concerned. And, other readers talk about this all the time. We've talked about this, before. Like, if you've been brokenhearted in the past, which, again, we're all human, we all have, right? At some point, I would be shocked if a person came up to me and said, "Oh, nobody's ever broken my heart." Nobody? Like, nobody? Not even Ryan Reynolds when he got married to what's her name? Blake Lively, right? Like, not even that. Um, I would say that you want to be at the very least be in some type of healing mode when this masculine comes in, because this isn't someone, and I hate to say it like this because this isn't someone you'd want to like bleed all over. You know what I mean? Like if you've had heartbreak in the past, like you don't want that to wash over into this connection. However, I will also say this. I don't know how anybody else feels, but as a feminine that's typically interested in masculines, if a masculine were to come into my life at this juncture after the last few months that I've had, um in regards to dating and all that, like I would be taking it slow. Just me personally, like I would be taking it slow. And I would be I'm upfront and honest. So like I would be upfront and honest with whoever the masculine is. And it's not even necessarily just because what's happened in the last few months, but because what's happened in the last few months has made me look at the last few years, the last few decades. So like me personally right now, like I can tell like I'm going through some type of very healing kind of period, you know? And I'm not just healing from what happened the last few months. Like it's making me look at other things, past relationships, situationships, things like that. And just realizing like I've said to you guys before, like we are constantly healing from stuff every day. And just because you thought you healed from something 5 years ago doesn't mean it's not going to come back up and you're going to feel like you're healing from it all over again. That's how it is for us. We're human. We have hearts. A lot of us have hearts, you're right? We have feelings. So, I'm not saying that like you have to be healed, of whatever hurt you. I'm just saying like you should be in some type of healing mode. And again, like I said for myself, like I would take things slow. That's just me. That's just me. And I think slow is a relative term, right? Because let me say this too. Like, and I'm going to talk about sex here for a second, for a couple seconds. I've had sex on the first date. I've had not had sex until the fifth date. You know what I mean? Like, I I think I've told you guys this once. I don't, maybe more than once, but not for a long time. If you follow, if you subscribe, I'm pretty sure I've said this at least once. I met my ex-husband on OkCupid, and we literally met in person for the first time for a booty call. Like, I literally did not think it was going to go anywhere. If you ever watch the movie Trainwreck with Amy Schumer and what's his name? Oh, I was just thinking about him the other day, and I remembered his name. Now I don't. The tall guy, uh, Heder. Is it Jason Heder? I can't remember his first name. And they date or whatever, but before they date, she sleeps with him. She's writing this story about him for a paper. They go out for dinner, they get a little tipsy, they sleep together. Well, the next morning he calls, and she's with her coworker at work, and she's like, he's calling. And the girl's like, why is he calling? And she's like, I don't know. He must have butt dialed me. And the lady's like, I'm going to go call 911. I'm going to go call the police. And she's like, no, 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 no. So she picks up the phone and she goes, hi. And he goes, hi. And she goes, I think you butt dialed me. And he goes, no, I called you. But like that's like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, hmm, you know, the ex-husband and I, like the next day, like he called, and I was a little surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, "You're calling me? Like, is this happening? Like, what is this?" But yeah, um, and I've told you guys before, like I've experienced every type of relationship pretty much that there is to experience. Um, yeah, but for me, like, and it's funny because when I first, I told you, I think I told you guys this too. When I first got on OkCupid, I had put, like, after a month of like looking on there and people looking at me, um, I had gotten on there and I had done in my little synopsis thing, and I said I'm not going to sleep with you on the first date, and I said I'm probably not going to sleep with you on the 10th. And some guy messaged me and told me I was full of myself. And I didn't even respond to him, but I was like, okay, you need to heal, because why would you even care if I said I'm not going to sleep with anybody to the 10th date, till the 10th date? Like, if that doesn't interest you, then move on. Like, you don't have to make a comment. That's just stupid. Just go find an easy chick, right? Like, that's what you want. Go find it. And I'm not saying, a woman is easy, but you know what I'm saying. And I don't want to insult a hypothetical woman. Um, but anyway, like, that's how I feel now after the guy at work, after the one guy I was kind of seeing for like 2 weeks. And then there was the guy that swung back around from 2023 and February. Like, yeah, I feel like I'm in healing mode, and I'm good for right now. And I still have my profiles on Hinge and OkCupid. And I look like every like 1 to 3 days, I'll look on there and see if anybody has liked me or sent me any messages or anything. And I have not felt the pull. So, and I don't go on there and search. I think I did that like one day last week where I spent like half an hour just flicking through. But yeah, I think my relationship with the ex-husband woke me up to like what I didn't want. And I think the love that I felt for the young man at work woke me up to the things that I do want, if that makes sense. Like 3 years later, now he's woken me up to something else. And it's kind of made me realize, like I kind of feel like like I had that Diane Keaton moment, unfortunately, where like I'm at that age where like um I can be heavily pursued by younger men, but it's typically just for one thing. And it's not very often that men my age or older men, well, I should say, it's not very often that men my age will look at my profile and reach out to me. And older men will reach out to me like the younger men do. But again, like, and I just, hate me, love me, it doesn't matter. I don't really care about anybody else's opinion. But I've come to the conclusion, like, I used to like older men. I used to find them really attractive. I liked a mature man, right? And now I look at older men and I'm thinking, I'm not taking care of you. And maybe that sounds selfish and rude, but I don't want to. I just don't want to. And call it karma, call it sad, I don't know. Call it God laughing in the sky. But the older men that seem to be interested in me are ones that would need to be taken care of. Do you know what I'm saying? And they would want to be, right? Typically older men, when they look for younger women, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody to take care of them, whether they want to voice that out loud or not. Typically older women are looking for younger men because they're looking for what they never had. They're looking for that new experience, that young feeling that they might not have had when they were young, because maybe they got tied down early with a husband and kids, right? Then when they're older, they're like, ooh, younger men? Like I missed out on that when I was younger. So it's to me like it's a little bit different, the mindset between feminine and masculine. And again, this is all just my opinion, but I have no interest in tying myself down to an older man. And I think I've told you that there's the one guy at work who I walked with a few times, and I brought him some shirts the other day, some work shirts that I no longer fit into. They're too big. Um, like he keeps trying to hit on me. The thing is he won't actually hit on me. He won't ask me out on a date. And it's very much one of those, it just reminds me of one of those relationship stories that you see like on TikTok or Instagram, or a made for TV movie where they say like they just fell into a relationship with someone because, and it's like, no, if you want to go out with me, you're going to have to ask me out on a date. Like you're going to have to be a man and ask me out on a date, and yeah, you're going to have to pay for it. At least the first one. He's no. He's it's kind of like one of those things where like I said, like they're just hoping, like he's just hoping that like I'll just fall into his, not his arms, but how do you say that? Like fall into his net, and like we'll just, like one day we'll be friends and the next day we're in a relationship and he won't have to work for anything because he doesn't want to work for anything. The thing is him and I have nothing in common other than our um uh weight loss journey. And even that, like, and I think I've told you guys this before, if you follow, if you subscribe, I think the only reason why he got on his weight loss journey is because he saw me doing it and he got jealous and he thought it was a competition. Again, it's not a competition. And it's funny because if he's telling the truth, he started his weight loss, I want to say like July, August, probably more like August. If he's being truthful about his weight, which I mean, I'm not going to be like, hey, hop on the scale. But if he's being truthful, he's actually lost more than I have in less time. And I would congratulate him. I actually have told him, good job. But I don't look at it like, okay, now I got to go beat him. Like I do my own thing and I do it in my own time, as I always have. But yeah, Like, I don't know. There's something weird there. There's something weird there. The guy is off anyway. I don't know. But I think he just thinks a relationship should fall into his lap and he shouldn't have to work for it. The thing is if he ever listened to anything I would say, he would know that I'm not that lady. Like, you're going to have to work for it. Sorry. I've had enough duds my whole life. Like, you're going to have to work for it. I don't know how I got off on that tangent. That was like a 15-minute tangent, y'all. All right. I'm just going to tell you to take how it resonates for you, whether you're watching the masculine, they're watching you, or maybe both. And like I said, I would just make sure you are working on your heart space and trying to heal yourself of any type of heartache, heartbreak, conflict that you've been in the past. So that way, when you do get into a relationship, if you get into a relationship, because again, free will is a thing. If you don't want to get into a relationship, don't get into a relationship. But if you do, make sure you're working on yourself so it doesn't affect the new relationship. And also, like I said, me personally, I would take things slow and I would highly recommend that others do that as well. But that's just me. All right. I'm going to leave it there. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, if anything, you were entertained. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.